Hey guys, welcome back to yet another episode from 263 Chat Midweek with my favorite co-host.
Beheaded, Jive.
I feel like I've literally just said my favorite co-host and then just say my name. It's your girl, Rach. I'm in your screens today.
The problem is
Anyway, before we get into it, do not forget to follow us and comment down in the section below. Follow us on all our social media platforms. That's 263 Chat. And every Friday we've got melodies for you guys. So we got you. TJ,
it's always funny to know thank God it's a Friday. Monday to 4:30 Friday.
Yeah, I guess. But yeah, you will just look the melodies on Friday on our website.
www.263chat.com. We want to entertainment section.
Yeah.
Non-stop melodies. It's non-stop melodies for sure.
Yeah. Now going back to my issue that almost hit me. Forgot my name.
Sugar.
Yes.
The price of sugar, like literally everything. It's not a good of a
but it's going to be a domino effect anyway. You know what? It's a girl.
Okay.
Say no more. Say no more. But then there were no sukkos. Okay, let's just be serious for a minute. There was no sukko actually. So I just went down the bus stop and then some random car just waited, but I had to like wait for some time. And then a random stranger was on the phone helping me. And I'm not saying it's a good thing to hitchhike because it's very dangerous to hitchhike in these times. Which no, but then there is because you know why I'm saying dangerous, because in the sense that I got into the car, right? For a girl, there's always this thing like, okay, I'm supposed to pay you, and then the person's like, no, don't pay me.
Okay.
Give me your contacts and all this, and I'm like, do you really want to help me? Or it's like other things, you know what I'm saying? So instead of us trying to make a joke out of this, it's actually really hard.
But scratch my back and I'll scratch yours.
So you need my contacts just because you want this sometime. So are we saying for to protect ourselves to find a fake number so that we just get to it? Guys, it's very scary. It's really scary. Like I had to actually lie. Let me be honest. I had to lie. I was like, oh yes, I'm married. And then he was like, is it like an engagement? And I was like, yes, you're lying and stuff. Girl, I was scared. I was like, okay. I was like, now I'm scared. Like, and I was like, you know what? And I was like, oh yeah, I don't look like it, but I am married. But I was really scared. You guys comment down in the section below, like, what do you think when it comes to this like situation?
But he now prefer to Roy hitchhiking. Showgrounds, but maybe
before 2008. Was $4 so
I'm going to negotiate it.
Yeah, you should. I think that's where negotiation skills come through, to be honest. Yeah. You can negotiate. But then you find, Guti, why is it now we get to a point where guys, going to that other topic. This one is a very interesting one. I don't want to get into this with like a preconceived judgment or anything, because obviously it will come off camera. But all I can say is, let's look at it 50-50, right? We're just talking about equity, guava and whatnot. So are we literally saying this 23-year-old, she's selling sex toys to minors, obviously, which is
allegedly selling sex toys to minors.
Going against the Exercise Act.
But yeah, if it's true without things that are
then that's a problem.
Free and addiction.
But I'm gonna see needs about the phenomenon Twitter space exactly about that. Was a group of feminist or some school of thought, you know, not believe not good believer. The honest truth is, like Form 2, Form 1, people sending each other news, etc. So they know.
They know
these things.
But
the fact that this is we want to, hide it.
No, we want to hide it because we have obviously traditions, ideologies, cultural values that we go towards. But then you find that this girl,
for them knowing, so them knowing
she's
you are making me to what things that are it's okay.
Alright. Well, it's start about the Titi vana vanhu minors and in from my own point of view not to judge me instead of to judge every single mom. But from my own point of view, I think it's good other than those kids engaging having such toys, because it's not like it's not happening. It's happening out there.
Yeah, it is. And like, let's not say it's not happening.
Yeah, it's happening out there.
Yeah.
But these things are already happening out there.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe I allowed the social media and stuff, and maybe someone wants to take it down. That's why Abbas in the power limelight. But these things are happening. And look at another angle. These 12-year-old which are minors, they're not engaging in actual sex, which is something that can result in teenage pregnancies. But because we tell you, I think going on against our way, you understand? So these are some of the things that we need to look at. Yeah, from a cultural point of view. Yeah,
and the realism
and the reality side of it. You know, advantage and disadvantage. Everything has a positive and a negative.
Because you get to a point. Okay, let me give a scenario, right? Let's say, like, culturally in Zimbabwe, when Mulkanachina Kulo wine whatnot, Panika Wenke Kuti Maskana or Wakudakwina Kuno Pepe. In Quantindo each crash course. Crash course, who's going to did before and stuff. And I'm thinking, all my life you've been saying, no, STEM, don't be sexually active, don't do this, protect yourself, and then the moment I'm like, okay, I want to get married and stuff, you literally give me a few hours before I go to my husband to be doing all this, when I could literally get it for free on the internet from someone who's very sexually free to talk about certain things that when I get into the marriage, I'm not saying marriage, but I'm saying Kuti. I'm not saying like Kuti. Get this point. The point is the moral of the story.
Generation yakamuka zvukunyeba uya fake walk. Munza, get my point. You know the daughter Kuti them using my dildo is actually keeping them safe from maternal pregnancies and my STIs. But do you know Kuti, for you to stimulate the at 12, bruh. Ponoshka 18 no more.
Okay, yeah, health-wise you want to be okay.
Yeah.
No, yeah. You are breeding my addictions, masturbation and everything.
Yeah.
But you are breeding you are killing a whole generation. If she was selling them to minors, a consenting adult is okay. Yeah, I actually say I don't know. But for someone a minor, anything below 18, 16, brother, no man, protect your kids. Imagine him when I just say, oh yeah, don't try to charge. Close it, my 4. My vibrator, my over what I say, would you say that? Don't do any reaction. I don't want to go to street.
Obviously, no point.
Do you want any reaction?
No, it's not.
No, it won't be a reaction, but obviously to scar your mind. Vice versa, even if I walk into my brother masturbating, it's the same thing. Let's not try to pretend you're like, oh, okay, because your sister is being protected.
No, we are breeding.
No, we are not breeding. We are actually breeding.
We know
all kids who know what to do when it comes to sex. Calm down. You are watching Auntie Carter when I was talking about about sex, marriage, and all this. These things are interlinked if you wanna look at it. Because you find good girls, okay, maybe now modernization but you don't find someone to sit you down and be like, okay, let's talk about how to have sex. Like, you know, it's not a topic of discussion. Genius, you end up just finding it when you are in a situation like a relationship. That's why we have my issues of people getting jilted when it comes to sex, sexual activities, people getting raped because they don't even know who to consent or whatever. When you get into that situation, how to react. You see what I mean? So if we're trying to look at it in a way which, you need to be honest. I would not even mind. I would just be like, okay, I think this is time for me to talk to my little sibling about sex and be okay with it. And actually be able to talk to them freely and be like, okay, so here's the thing. If you are going to, I know what you're engaging in sex, A, B, C, D, but let's talk about condoms, let's talk about STIs, there's pregnancy out there, because a lot of people are scared of pregnancies than STIs as we speak.
Yeah, wait.
So you find, when it comes to this sexual topic, it's always cultural and ideological, but then let's be practical. Don't be walking around saying that people are not having sex. People are doing that.
But then, wait.
I'm not saying you.
Engage in sex, like,
I'm not saying you, but I'm saying now people are saying, oh no,
Rachel,
not to deal with. Totally my issues.
Okay, hold on. Okay, you two. Let me just say something. Number one, I want you to look at it. I understand the feminist perspective that you have. It's a valid point, no lie, right?
Yeah.
But number one, when you sell, a sex toy to somebody who's 12, 13 plus, and they are, just below 16, which is 16, I believe, is the age of consent for sex, right? For sex.
Yeah.
So if you're selling somebody who's under 16, that means it's a crime. Before we go,
definitely.
Is it right
It's a crime. Yeah, it's a crime.
And then number two, like what Jive was trying to say, do these kids know the precautions that come before it? Because there's never gates, batteries, exactly.
Yeah,
so is this person aware of what she's getting herself into?
Maybe if you look at it that way, so that way it's very valid. But all I'm saying is, let's not be a hypocritical generation or hypocritical society at the point where we are saying, oh, okay, fine, you can have consent at 16. But then when it comes to dildos, it's something that's ajiti, things like this. That's not, because that's where my issue is.
But let's put
that's where my issue is.
Let's put
like we are too hypocritical with certain things. We're too hypocritical.
Before the age of consent is wrong. Yes, even selling mama sex toys, someone has a legal age of consent is also wrong. Free ayanda. If it's true, if it's true that things are very below the age of consent, she deserves everything that is coming to her. If it's true, because he did be a man, let's switch it. He did be a man who was selling sex toys. Would be having this conversation, to be honest.
Right.
The predator, but not to one.
And it's the same thing.
She's trending on Twitter because she's famous on Twitter. She's a sweeter. She's a sweeter person. What does one to Ngirginga? Kaka society keep to they are moving. I don't know romantic. Victimization of women is okay if it's done by women.
No, I don't think it's double standards though. Even as a woman, and I'm speaking right now, and even as a feminist, to be honest, that's really taking advantage because she's a woman and she's kind of predatory.
She's
very kind. So still on scandals. What are we doing this? Where?
No, Scott.
Yeah, so I'm about to introduce this new topic that we want to talk about. You are my squad, I am Mayweather. So, chat about my V11. Coming back to the mother way.
But that video was cringe.
Was cringe.
No,
and you know what's funny? When I was scrolling down social media, then I was going through our comments, and then someone was like, "Hey, you guys, Scott is cringe, and I'm like,
Mbinga, yeah,
but bruh, you're literally next to me, and you're just like,
and Maria Pochetti, I'm flying up past time. Remember, start Zozo. Marijete.
Samudi Scott akaenda Dubai noVraziso.
Yeah.
It's like
basically.
I found out look comfortable.
Yeah,
he was
so
hyping the guy. Africa, Scarface, King.
Some things you can fake.
So are you telling me I starstruck himself? No, Nemariana.
Do you know like one let's say Dele one. But I do you know the data to Tora can face out the Clito to 60 chat and I don't know now. No, I just represent a boat. I don't want. That's what I'm going to say. But I'm going to the cancel on drag grip. Quasi, come another sticker. Little come another sticker. Like what was that you eat? I mean,
but yeah, moving on from issue of sticker again. Guys, my moves are like, yeah, Mayweather, Africa's cafe in Nika.
Can you imagine?
And I know, like, the thing we want to talk about issue with Nasi iterative, then Mangwana by some iterative. Someone commented that Nika, I got zippy, you figure the meal with the staff. Nika, you know to back on the vial.
Yeah.
Yaka puts one even vial, but you know to back off the my moves out on they are making my moves bigger
moves than the people who are supposed to make those moves for us. Like, for example,
yeah, Saturday, we want to talk about issue equity.
Yeah. RBZ is the one that you want to talk about.
Yeah, I want to talk about RBZ.
Yeah.
I want to talk about RBZ.
Yeah.
Like issue equity, 1 minute people are not allowed to borrow. Then
the next minute.
It's like people are creating chaos on purpose.
Yeah.
So that they are the ones who also come with the solution.
And I'm just hard.
Could you know to consider over in a basa, over the woman living, this over road. You create a problem. You easily solve it.
Yeah.
You create. Then also out of chaos, but we are tired of that now.
Yeah, I feel
honestly,
like
it's a failed tactic.
Yeah, I feel like with RBZ, they have like this. I feel like they're just really, how do you say, like Marco Tifeila is, I don't know how the economy works. I might not be the best economist, but then I feel like they're really failing us because Yakuita will bipolar or get to this moment, Matara Shagati, then the next minute you do this. It's like there's so much confusion because it's not just about, and we all know they're benefiting from the confusion. They're really benefiting from this whole confusion.
You know this whole thing about RBZ. If one might look at another point of view, anytime someone is making decisions without consulting someone. There is someone who will come back and say, why did you do this? And you understand? Like, this thing is like what Napoleon was doing. Like, you go to conquer another country at the expense of one. The Ibanos who else not have the idea, I would say, but it's the problem that he created.
Yeah.
So, this guy is like, one has to make a decision without approval of another person. You understand? So that we know overtaking the Messiah will do. But this thing is literally killing us as a people. Because imagine sugar, you're 62%. 65 actually. And what we want now sometimes, because other supermarkets, which I won't mention by names, I will try one. Even doing oil, I will try one. Which you have to exorbitantly.
Yeah.
And you understand?
They know about what we are suspending duty.
Basic commodities.
But you know, we are not supposed to be importing sugar on the south at individual level. Yes, Nika you know going to say who importer. You're the distributor. But you cannot take my boxer, your ShopRite, take a salt, someone is failing it.
Someone is something.
Yes, duty suspended, of course. But to be honest, I should make a sense. We are a nation which is full of resources.
Alright. watch on the run and support you as well. Sarah Tukudichi, these policies, so like they undermine our local industry.
I'm a policy I order out of chaos, man.
Yeah.
Could not create a problem.
No, but
so
they are also undermining, for real, they're also undermining as well. But at the same time, it's sort of like, you saw what now, we kind of don't believe in our own commodities. Because the fact that we still with the periphery of the periphery. And we have our own resources, but then we still look at the core.
I don't do that.
But Reg, have you seen what we produce locally? It's expensive, like Kwanele said, but they're substandard as well.
Yeah.
Some of the things.
So
given the opportunity, we are given two options: a local product and a product which was imported. Why we opt for the imported product? Hey, why? Because of quality and price.
Yeah.
The price will be lesser.
One issue we talked about it, I think last week, when we were talking about the carnival. Uti, have you been to Victoria Falls?
No.
Why?
Because of issues with money.
But I've been to Cape Town.
Yeah, same
I've
here.
been to Cape Town. India, I've been to Cape Town.
Waterfront, Baba.
But I can afford to do domestic tourism.
Yeah, because it's quite cheap out. You go from Harare to Cape Town, then you can spend about a week which you go to Cape Town. That money you don't spend the Coca. Then you marry another of Victoria Falls. You can have a Binyanga. Yeah, what is?
So it's also our things. Our afford when you want to go.
It's also my local, we can't.
Honestly, speaking of duty, I have things that are coming from China. You know what I was told? Customs. So you are a company in Shipa, still working on the Marido charges. You wait the and it's there, right? Because want to know our product to save the rights to pizza, even Chile on the way. So we think it's not change overnight. How to get about it?
I think I guess this is if it goes back to the issue, I would say the country itself is very hostile even for investments and stuff because of that bipolar system.
Who would want to invest?
Because tomorrow you might wake up, remember that Chaskishaka, and who would invest in that? Like it's
official rates. I saw it somewhere. Official rate is actually not no banking.
Yeah.
Street.
It's out of control.
Salary pay the basa. The RTGs pay the basa. You don't go pinda. As a Friday, you maybe I'm from Panja. Ku ZB, which borrow a bank to bank. You don't know pinda Tuesday. You know what about the fees? You don't know ways. What in dates? Instability,
it's just making this real stuff.
Those who lead up to another channel,
Aziko. But speaking of the same issues, never been high tariffs as well. They all fall under that. ZIM high tariffs, the one that we were going to talk about, ZIMRA tariff.
No, out of the blue. And package 2. What remember shipping for something kg at $17.50. You have queera again $20 something. And it's supposed to queera from $20 queen, I don't know. I don't want to budget out
It's not budget this time.
I don't want exactly.
Yeah.
They are robbing us the freedom of planning. You cannot plan.
Because tomorrow things might just change.
Yeah. So we need change.
Anyway, on Enlighten News, the Bolt is another new song, right?
Which one?
I don't know if it's a new song.
Which one?
Is it a new song?
Which one?
Let's actually look for it.
Vote?
Yes.
I didn't do Mariam. I know I said I don't want to listen to votes, but yeah.
Do you
things
have
are changing.
Let's forget. Yeah, something.
Don't forget.
Don't
forget.
Same, I haven't listened to it that much, but I just wanted to say are you now a fan?
Nah, I'm not a fan, but work ethic. Let's talk about work ethic. There's a new vote song almost every week now.
Yeah.
There's a new Saint song almost every week now.
But I'm worried about that.
There's a new RPU's album coming almost every year.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Inina will say it's consistent.
Week in, week out.
Eh?
New song, week in, week out.
Yes.
You will burn out.
But it's not like I don't go at the end of the day. Numbers don't lie. I may not like him personally for obvious reasons. I mean, I'm not fine. But I may not like him, man. But I appreciate numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, numbers don't lie. Even if I find the same flow, and this one around the chienza, I think I could have Gororo. Get it? Numbers are not lying. I need to go on in view around with the end of the shy bass. So I believe it's consistency. Because at the end of the day, are you seeing the actually for because he's surprised us. He's surprised us.
No, I'm just worried, like, you know, when it comes to song week in, week out, so,
Diminishing margin of
you
remember diminishing margin of utility.
So what you can say is maybe the Komana Mukana since the Chiribo. Because these are two different things. If you want to go for an album and it name you create a singles, my album generally not names to remember on the album. And you're sitting beside a singer, maybe she can tell us more about it, but there's another one Zimbabwe. But another one Zimbabwe, yeah.
I mean, no, besides before your album, bruh, they should have performed a River for concert, bruh.
Yeah. I saw it on IG.
How was it?
No, it was fun. It was really fun. I was texting him half of the time. I'm like, I'm so nervous.
Before, I was in a voice note.
But she was good.
You can actually hear. Also, you can actually hear the voice.
No, yeah. You know, let me just try to explain like where the nerves are coming from. You know, sometimes when you perform, when I just performed like for fun and stuff. This concert was actually for fundraising for something that was really big. And for me, like an underground artist, you know, standing next to another Brian K, we're almost trying to making numbers and achieving it and stuff. To me, I was like, wow, okay, I'm sharing a stage with these people, and there are like officials and all these other people and stuff. And I was just thinking, like, okay, does my music really cut it?
But I asked you a question. I asked you a question. Check out what you're going but I up in the first place.
I know.
This is not funny. Say something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to ask a question that Makota asked on your YouTube. Who is Mr.
One day, Mr.
Hey, Mr.
Okay, so when I wrote that song, right, it was for, I like to sing music about women being very open-minded and very outspoken.
So we're expecting that song anytime soon, yeah?
So when I titled it, Hey Mister, it's me just giving power, like, you know, you can, because you know how it is culturally, like a guy out. So for me, I was like, let me put a song where you can sing to the guy and say, hey mister.
Okay.
Sing to the music geniuses, but at the same time, people will be like, I'm an underground artist. What for?
Yeah, both of them are going to
Yeah, I can't wait to drop
So sing up.
Yeah, the name is Spotify.
But yeah, speaking of, maybe in the 3 years, I see my phone number as a broker. In the same up to normal as a
and you find with the abuse session mostly it's towards women.
The media is male, men, and men.
Yeah, I guess. Because you find with as a female artist, you might face abuse in studio, behind the scenes, from your directors, from the people that will be in the video. Yes, I've experienced abuse.
How did you deal with them?
What happened was, when I think you saw my post when I posted for Rivers Flow, it said Hey Mister was not really my proud song.
Yeah.
Because when I went to record the song, the producer almost took advantage of me sexually. And it was at night, I didn't know how to get back home and stuff. And I've never spoke about it, this is like 3 years. So I never really wanted to perform the song because I was like, his name is on the back of the song and I'll carry it, but then people don't know what really happened, what transpired.
So this is you talking about
it for the first time. This is me healing, and this is me trying to also help out and be like, hey, things like that actually happen. So yeah, that's why I'm not really proud of the song.
So I'm proud of Kiki. Kiki has been speaking up.
A lot.
From time Stana Pagam, Stana Arwa Dion, who tell you that Kiki was the one who went on social media
and spoke about it.
Recently, she also spoke about
it again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We know them. But we are keeping quiet. So.
I don't know who commented that you just you are actually a teenager, you act like a teenager, what and stuff. Because he came and he attacked his comment again.
It's one and only who calls people teenager. It's one and only Shadaya. He calls him our dearest teenage.
No,
the 40-year-old
Shadaya
teenager.
is better off at this point. Shadaya is better off. Yeah. And you find with less people, they don't really want to talk about it because of fear of judgment. Because right now I know people are going to comment like, oh, but it's been 3 years ago, like we know this director Adaro or we know this producer Adaro and stuff, but then this is my story.
Just because
you're denying my story.
Just because you know someone, they are not just
I'll show you side ya tuda kukurakitsa.
Hey, I'll give you an example. You all know a friend that won't put his
No.
I don't know what for but they will never do that to you.
Yeah,
but we should not deny someone else's side of the story because we were in a different relationship
with that
person.
Well, so at the end of the day, what you're trying to say is people should speak up.
Yes.
Because these things have been happening long before like
us.
what I just said. You look at the R. Kellys of this world, the Michael Jacksons of this world. These things have been happening from way back.
Hey, thank you for saying the R. Kellys of this world. We talked about it. Stop dating Manadi Kamu.
Because whatever you say, people could maybe relate, but now we can relate. And you understand? But now we can say, no, leave it like that. As a marriage,
but I don't want to lie. One of these days we are going to have a surviving Stana. Not Stana only, but we are going to be having a surviving. Because the one out we are opening up, people are now speaking up.
Yeah.
People are now speaking up. And I'm telling you.
And personally, I have actually advocated after that incident in 2019, when I pushed that song, that Hey Mr. song and stuff, after that very incident, I literally told myself, I was like, even if I'm going to get as much clout or platform or whatever, I will tear that producer down because he did that. And I know he's still doing that because he works with a lot of females. And he lied saying he was working with Nana Kruger and all these people trying to gain credibility. So that when you are a young artist, you are hungry, you want to get in, you're going to think, oh yeah, Nishandane, like these big people, so I can actually work with him. But then it's terrible. Like even the work ethic, you would shoot music videos at night, like it's just out of this world. Like you can tell, but it's not all of us who are woke enough to see, okay, this is a predator kind of characteristics of a person. So yeah.
And speaking on top of that, I think this whole abuse of female artists, which we never industry, they are beat musical industry, movies, art.
Yeah.
I think it creates more like monsters out of them. Because at the end of the day, what happens is like when they face such kind of abuse from us as men, you know, you understand? So when the next guy tries to do good things, on good terms, those things will come back like, and no, this thing is going to be okay. But at the same time, maybe I'm coming in with good intentions.
Yeah.
So we're saying good things. You never after effects.
Yeah.
So for me, I'll keep on saying it. People should speak out. And kudos to you for coming out, speaking out. It's quite something that maybe our listeners and viewers would want to take note of. And if you're facing such a situation, please speak up.
Speak up and get
You might be a male, because you're saying not only females are. You might be a male. And you want, you understand?
sakwana mukadzi Mbinga ine mari yokudzoti your music ndoida because it's very expensive. Doing music shooting, my studio, it's very expensive.
Yeah.
No, like just thank you for getting shit out of your chest like a chick who is coming from Dubai.
Jeez.
Yeah. We should learn to speak up.
Yeah, we should.
We should learn to speak up.
Yeah, we should.
Speaking of speaking up, Sauti So. We're going to Tumbo. Sauti So recently released a press distancing themselves from
political affiliation.
Exactly. But they should even ask for consent for using this. Because the moment that you
this one is a very
remember the Raja item.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right?
People took a song, they ran with it. What happened? Happened. And at the end of the day, he was associated with Totodaro, which brand it almost came under threat. So took to whatever they and posted their item, but no, it's also with distance ourselves. We're going to take legal action. Against to know Shansachi, so we do not consent. Like, because at the end of the day, they are brand.
They should keep it safe.
But not till they are apolitical.
Yeah, they are.
Then you take a song. I remember even Wingiti
Olive Tukuzi were also, those were the big artists in Zimbabwe who spoke about Nyanzekwa apolitical and stuff.
No, you can't use my song. Especially the content if video rap or even the rally. Because the moment you are not song, it means the party. We should normalize doing that.
So that we let artists sing whatever they have to sing. Usina kufila kunge you're affiliated to something. Because ukuba boxer in a way kuti your song yako yakatoemba zvakazvakati. No, I'm just singing.
Our artists should be taught on how our intellectual property works. How to protect their it's their work. You have the right to say no.
But then speaking on nyayo copyright and stuff like that. Like, okay, I'm now speaking as an artist. I've always struggled with my producer when you get, is it the same thing? Maybe I'm yet to be corrected.
Yep.
You go and you do your song, and then they keep your wave or your raw vocals and your like the raw beat and stuff, and then they don't want to give it to you. So that you are not going to sing song, but then you can't do anything to it because it's not the raw footage of your song.
Yeah,
and then they use it.
I think the answer to your question, I don't have it, but I'm sure there's someone on our comment section who is definitely going to comment on that. Shout out to the one and only Mark Porter, and he's going to give us an answer on that.
Yeah.
What's the
how do we go about that?
Do I my master's?
Yeah, do my master's because I have the Hey Mr. track. I don't have the it's
do you have the rover?
Yeah.
So
they might delete or sell them to somebody else.
Yeah, so we need workshops for our artists, for our creatives all together as a whole.
And it seems like every time you go to a producer and be like, okay, I've done like this body of work, can I please have my web material? You find that they start to hit you with technical terms. They don't want to give you. I have, and it's such a very icky topic to have with your producer for some reason. It's always awkward.
Okay.
Yeah, they really make it awkward. Like they seem like they don't want to give you. So to me, it's like, do other artists go through this as well? It's just me.
So I think we have an answer for everyone who are the same issue. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
I'm interested to know what happened to my Titi.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that one.
But I think it has to be my Titi.
Yeah, at this point.
How can one?
I don't really condone or follow my Titi to that point or like really engage. Because she's a celebrity. But looking at it from a perspective of a woman who thought she was going to be happy in a marriage and stuff, having other bigger people like who are social media, like socialites, with like
Titi is always
crazy
Titi.
numbers
She's
to
always
come
the
through
Titi.
with that kind of detrimental piece of evidence.
But
They
she's
could have
always-
done it, like not in front of the public.
Ayo, but
I don't know.
Like, I thought of
What happened? Look on what happened?
What happened?
Yeah.
They were saying that Murume Wao, I and my DM say, oh, these are the socialites before her. So it looked as if
She's like rebound.
yeah, kind of, and it seems as if we get after Murume
So
Wao,
she has left
my
option.
DM. Thank you.
chakaita kuti
Now it
vanhu
looks like
vazobudisa the evidence emukomana achitsoma maititi what prompted people to do that.
my teacher was on live, and then I think she started shouting it.
I think she was breaking about something.
Something, yeah,
I'm not so sure about it,
Yeah.
but I think that was the line. Then you know it's a provocation to other people who have relevance.
So
You
And
understand?
then my Titi actually started like shouting, like going off on her husband whilst she was on live. So the people were like, no, tell me more, and stuff. First was a pindra, Nana Tateli Shasi, and Nana Olinda, and all this and stuff.
So kuti isusu you air your dirty laundry outside over venga futhi vana vapanic joke zokusengoti video yako
Yeah.
we talked about the privacy
When we talked about my Titi
the
again.
moment you put your stuff out there for public consumption, you are opening yourself
Doors
up
to hell.
for anything and everything. I saw a video I took another one.
Cause
Yeah,
Cozy.
and Olinda was like, yo, I don't need your mans because your mans was in my inbox.
My
to
DMs
data.
and
So
proof
now,
that-
other socialites came through and they were like, you know, my village.
Come on, guy.
Anna, Zuba, Habane, they also came through with evidence, and I'm like, oh.
So we're saying Vakati is out there anti-19. Why would you?
Those are that feeling. But then
But-
that's when you realize that Kaseko Kema socialites are kind of toxic. Because you find pictures with my Titi and Olinda smiling, having dining,
Yeah,
and
but
then the
that-
next thing, they're not in good books together. You see?
But
why
I think those automated moves fast like Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and she said so herself.
Yeah.
But you know, there's a.
But then I think at this point she's mad hurt. Let's
But
be
no,
honest, she's really
but
hurt.
no, but it must be hate to be here. What?
Yeah.
That one with all that much drama,
And the
all
money
that
on the
hate.
wedding.
You know
My
you know what I think prompts all those hate and stuff. The way you conduct yourself and
Okay, on this my Titi issue, I think we
Better than you.
kuna nakatanga ngijika nokuthi awufocus ya private life yake Anton. Ngithi yantsala nini kana ngakabuthi iyantsala ninye because literally abantu na social media ndona ma fan page and stuff ngandika it doesn't do that when you're not asking
Yeah, I'm sure we're like show urwendo.
chete andiona
Imani ya muda.
Over the life yake.
And I want to get that you're going to buy for a trip for a show. You never see it. Because
but-
that's a private life here. The bus and the bus. I said we get but I still remember. I think it was around 14. Mangoma cha pizza. But even was city sports, charity dance. You understand the we get I should not do. But there's a point. Ukuno kubas. Zobas no kubira bus. So mama is umba and you understand. So those are some of the lines that you need to draw. But I think as imagine my social life said that you could tell that I was in the rip. Could I know you by here?
No.
I know shout.
These are just
My Titi might be a loud person, my Titi might be a drama person, but my Titi is a dope reggae artist.
And I disagree.
One more also music out.
I disagree.
I want you to go papa page the YouTube Renash. You know say my Titi lockdown. My Titi, I don't know but I share my stage.
Yeah.
My artist for I will my Titi wakachiwa vega the Kate family. So yeah, my Titi
Okay. I don't
my Titi
know.
wakaipa.
Personally, no.
But yeah, the music.
No.
Nai baby was gonna be kubiko kubori zizi kana kubofona.
There's a good side for me about me.
Hakuna mna kashada kweli.
Okay, fine. You know what? Yeah, pana muna kashada kwese. Maybe
Drama-
just but let's point
drama like
out
not board,
some socialites vamwe havatorini the talentness. Nongota noise in social media and stuff.
Maybe
But
not-
at least vanozongozembera maybe she's an
Now I wish you
artist.
met
But
her.
otherwise, guys,
I wish you there at home.
Talent.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway.
I thought that bottom line to what my social life said there. I'm going to talk. I am going to talk. So basically, we need to tell you say we do a time or report or maybe say manage. Hey,
Zimbabwe.
Not about relevant.
Zimbabwe. Inema essential workers. You wait about essential workers. Do majority.
yeah.
Because they are not going to
What about
Yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. This is the end of our session today. If you've really enjoyed watching, do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and share it with your everybody, with your circles, even your kids. They like to hear it too.
Like I said, if you comment on our post, I'm going to thank you personally. So shout out to Makpota, shout out to Shepherd Musa, and Mama Stana Kanga. Thank you for being our regular viewers. Thank you for that.
The subscribers, definitely the subscribers, right?
Subscribe, like, share,
And
comment.
click that bell like button so that when we post, you always get notified.
Exactly.
Yeah, so yeah. Also, follow us on all our social media platforms. It's at 263 Chat. Yeah, so thank you guys. See you in our next one. Bye.